So good morning, welcome in. This is Teachin Fishin Coffee Hour for December 7th, 2020. Still need to get my power fixed. Good to see you guys. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Doug Ward says he got out this weekend and scratched the itch. A little chilly, but man, I saw some good fishing reports from Lake Erie, Saginaw Bay, Lake Erie on our side, Lake Erie on the Ohio side, Saginaw Bay obviously on the Michigan side. So it looked like fishing was good. Dan says, "Oh, your hair is fine." I didn't put any gel in today, so I got this little poofy thing going over here. So, whatever. My hair and makeup guy, I'm going to fire. Roy Miller, I saw Roy Miller was on Lake St. Clair and did really well. I think yesterday, he went fishing on Sunday. So he had a great day on Lake St. Clair with walleyes. I saw a few big muskies caught Lake St. Clair. Lots of just really, really cool stuff. So. Fishing looked really, really good. So yeah, we'll get that deucer going and see how it goes. Corey says, COVID has come to his house. Things are okay so far, but hopefully won't derail a year's worth of work. I'm going to bet they don't. I am on, I think, person 39 that I know who has tested positive for COVID, and the worst of those 39 has been about 2.5 days in bed. So. And that's anywhere from about 25 years old up to 77 years old. I think I'm right around 37 or 38 people that had it, and I don't know a single one who has spent more than 2 or 3 days in bed. So obviously this thing can be brutal, it can be deadly, but for the most part, Corey, I think you're just gonna. You're right, Lauren. I was just getting ready to say something. Thank you, my friend. Just getting ready to. Just want to encourage you, Corey. Just do what the doctor says. I'll tell you what has worked for everybody else. Lots of rest. They've tried to let their fever go as high as they could without keeping it down, because that fever seems to really make a difference. The more and the higher your fever is, the faster the virus disappears. And the experience that that people that I know who've had it has shared with me. So just drink lots of fluids. Get in bed and be careful. So, Lauren said something about Pearl Harbor. It is December 7th. I would assume everybody on here I'm assuming none of you were around in Pearl Harbor, although some of you I'm not so sure. But obviously, I know for sure my generation. I'm 55. I know for sure my generation. We were taught about Pearl Harbor. I had a grandpa and an uncle who were World War II veterans. I'm a big history buff. I enjoy history. It's one of my favorite things to read. But today, obviously, is Pearl Harbor Day. I don't think we'll ever, other than 9/11, I don't think we're really going to see a day that affected the country the way Pearl Harbor did, right? And brought the country together the same way 9/11 did, right? Brought the country together. Democrats, Republicans, whites, black, rich, poor, kind of brought everybody together. And regardless of what you think happened in the conspiracy theories out there, a lot of Americans lost their lives that day, and it kind of booted us into World War II, which is part of our history, obviously. But I don't know the exact number of people that were killed at Pearl Harbor. I know it was quite a few, hundreds. But, and I'm not going to say I'm provoked, because if you are a history buff, you understand that the provocation probably was there. But a surprise attack, let's put it that way, on a military base. Definitely a day that I remember. It's just one of those days you just kind of are filed away in your memory. And I'm not going to go into what kids know and what kids don't know nowadays, but man, oh man. I was watching something on YouTube the other day, and how depressing. No wonder our country's in the shape it's in when people who are college professors in a specific subject don't understand, like it or not, agree or not with what's going on in the country with the election. I think a lot of people are getting a civics class that just because ABC or Fox says so-and-so wins, that has zero bearing on anything. There is a process, and there is an appeal process, and there is a court process if you would like to fight it. which I think any election that's within 10% probably should be fought by either side. I think people are realizing exactly how the civics class that they slept through, how important it really does affect them. So anyway, all right, Ryan. Oh, I'm sorry, Phil. Hi, Phil. Phil says he ordered a Rytech mount for his 455-800 Deuce the other day, having a problem. Picture is not good when it's just me, but when I put downriggers on, I get a lot more noise at high speeds. Ryan from Rytech, our good friend Ryan Bobek, was a great help talking me through how to try and fix it. Awesome. Ryan is a great guy. Rytech is an awesome company. If you are serious about your transducer performance, one of the things you might want to ask for this year at Christmas time is ask for a Rytech Marine transducer mount, regardless of what transducer you have. They definitely make a difference in adjustability. They definitely make a difference in how sturdy that transducer is held. So when you do get it right, it keeps that right angle or correct angle. So that's something you might want to look at, is a Rytech Marine transducer mount. They are awesome, and you can get a hold of Ryan through his website, or I'm going to put, I think I should be able to share. I can't always share companies. There it is, Rytech Marine. So there's a link to Ryan's stuff. So check him out. All right. Good things happening this week. Again, if you're new here or haven't, be sure to go over to the YouTube channel, watch a video or two, like those, make some comments. Most important, subscribe. It's a slow crawl, but we're getting closer to 1,000 every day. When we hit that 1,000, sit tight, Dougie. When we hit that 1,000 number, we're going to give away a day on the water. It can be a charter trip with me, any place I fish, or it can actually, if you want to come to the 2021 Fall Fishing Education Weekend, you can do that. So please hop on our Teachin Fishing YouTube channel and subscribe. That's important. And please share, guys. I'm going to ask you for a favor this Christmas. If you want to do something nice for old Captain Lance for Christmas, when we post something on Teachin Fishing, or we post one of our videos or a contest or a promotion for something we're going to do, and you see it, I appreciate the fact you like it. That's awesome. Please share it. Share it to your homepage. Share it to your fishing friends. If you belong to another fishing club or another fishing Facebook page that we don't know about, please share that out there. This game is all about eyes, and we're never going to stop doing what we do. But if we don't start getting enough eyes on our stuff, we're going to stop doing the amount of stuff we're doing, because it takes a lot of time and effort to do what we do, and when we're not getting enough eyes on it, it's not worth it. So if you could help us grow, that would be awesome. Anytime you see something that we share, be it a quick little video or a promotion, we're going to do a promotion. You're going to see a promotion today for our seminar tomorrow night on Tuesday. Please share that. Share that on your homepage. Share that to all your fishing friends. Like I said, if you're part of a fishing Facebook page that maybe I don't know about, first of all, let me know about that page so we can get our stuff on there, or ask to get our stuff on there. Number two, most importantly, share our posts so more people see it. That's the big deal. So there we go. Ron Linder's online memorial is today. I think it's 1 Central, so 2 o'clock our time. It's somewhere in there. So if you'd like to do that, that'd be fine. John Suzalka says good morning. He's here, still living out of a box in his mummy's basement. So obviously he's a millennial, acting like a millennial, living in his mom's basement. Nets are in stock, Roy. Let me know what you want. I've got short hoops, long hoops, or short 6-foot handles, 8-foot handles, big hoop, small hoop. They're all interchangeable. Let me know. Send me an email, buddy. Let me know what you want. We'll get you one. I know John Gull always does share our stuff at Pro Walleye, so I appreciate that, Johnny. Big week coming up. We got this. We've got a premiere of a seminar tomorrow. It'll be on YouTube. It premieres at 8 p.m. And there will be a live chat along with that video on YouTube just on the premiere. So at 8 p.m. tomorrow, we're showing our new workshop seminar called Trolling Speed, an Advanced Look. We're going to talk about subsurface currents and surface currents and how they affect trolling speed, lure depth, and how many fish you're going to catch every day. That's 8 p.m. tomorrow. There'll be a promo ran today, but 8 p.m. tomorrow on our YouTube Facebook channel. It's called a premiere. So it won't start until 8 o'clock. There'll be a chat from 8 until about 8:15 when the video ends, and that's your chance to kind of get in and maybe ask a question or two that we can either answer that night or answer later in some of our other stuff as we talk about it. But pretty cool way to do it. It was good last time. It runs about 15, 16, 17 minutes, the seminar does. We enjoyed doing it the way we did it last Tuesday. It was really cool. We're going to start doing that. So our new workshop seminars, which run about 15 to 20 minutes, will all be premieres. That'll be cool. Jeff Morrow says, next upgrade for the London VHF radio. Lowrance Link 9 without any question. Lowrance Link 9, buy the Lowrance antenna. Most importantly, buy the Lowrance antenna mount. No matter what radio you buy the Lowrance antenna mount. The beauty of the Lowrance antenna mount and the antenna is traditionally the cable is in the antenna. So if you break a cable, bust a cable, your cable goes bad, your cable starts to rot after years, you've got to completely take the antenna off, pull the cable out, reroute a new cable. The beauty of the Lowrance is the cable is never exposed. So the cable is actually in the mount. Then the antenna actually screws on and there's a quick fit male piece or female piece in the mount and a male piece in the antenna. So if you break an antenna or you want to go from a 6 or an 8 foot to a 3 foot, they're all interchangeable. You can just screw them on. Once you run that cable and get it hooked in the back of your radio, you never have to do it again. So regardless of what radio you're going to use the Lowrance antenna and the antenna mount. And I like the Link 9, a little bit bigger radio, but man, it has some really, really cool features. And maybe we'll go over those radios a little bit later. Maybe we'll do a little gear gab for those, but I like the Link 9. I really, really like the Link 9. So, all right, so that's two. So today is Monday. Tuesday will be our premiere seminar, and then I will be up at Frank's Great Outdoors on Friday and Saturday, middle of the morning, let's say 10:30, 11 o'clock till about 4. I will be up there for their shanty days, working the electronics counter, kind of moving around a little bit, but I'll be up there on Friday and Saturday at Frank's Great Outdoors at shanty days. So if you want to come by and say hi, want to come by and look at ice fish electronics, I'll be working at the electronics booth. So just a really cool way to kind of get into ice fishing, talk to some guys about ice fishing, and learn. That's kind of my project. We're going to kind of work with a couple people this year, and we're going to try to educate this dumb old guy on how to ice fish. So there you go. And yes. Both those radios, the Link 9, Matt's asking about the Fusion. And Matt, I never did get back with you about, God dang it, I'm sorry. I never did get back with you about your Sonic Hub. Jeez. But the Link 9 radio hooks right to your Lowrance unit via NEMA 2000. So you don't have to connect the brown wire to the green wire and the orange wire to the yellow wire. You don't do any of that. It's just a simple plug into your NEMA 2000. You got it. You're done. So a lot easier to hook up. The Link 9 has its own GPS, so you don't have to worry about grabbing signal from your GPS and getting all that interactive. You can just use the internal GPS. It's actually a really cool radio. I had one on the Polarcraft, and I have one on. I'm going to have one here in a box to put on the pontoon. So it's pretty cool. Okay, a little bit of business real quick. Captain Mitch Doherty won the Fall Brawl. Congratulations to him. 12.8 something. Oh, John, you're killing me. Congratulations to Mitch. Mitch puts in a ton of hours, ton of time, especially down there in Erie. So congratulations to him. I always worry, not that luck is bad, but I always worry that somebody that goes out one day and happens to be in the right spot at the right time catches a winning fish in a derby like that. And it's okay if it happens. Congratulations if it does happen. But it's always nice to see somebody who puts the time and effort in actually win an event like that. So congratulations to Mitch. There was a top 5 fish disqualified due to some information that was given on the lie detector. I posted that story on both the educational forum and the Teachin Fishing page. I thought that story needed to be told from the angler himself. So there we go. That's there. Jeff Miles says, just plug and play to my HCS. Yep, you just need an extra an extra T and an extra cable off of, or an extra, yeah, cable off of your NEMA 2000, Jeff, and you're all set. So there you go. So that was that. So congratulations to those guys. And I'm trying to think, there was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember. All right, let's get into the topic I want to talk about today. And I want to talk about fishing rules and regulations. There is a group that is pushing for the ability to run 3 more rods per angler when you're trolling with a with an extra purchase of an extra license. So it'd probably be another $26. You buy a second license, and that would allow you to run per person 6 rods when you're trolling. Matt makes a great point. I'm going to find a link to this today when I get a chance. SmackDown Outdoors Podcast did a virtual ice show. I'm sure that Dougie Glimmerbean has all those recorded. If you haven't seen that, go see that. So I'll try to get a link up here. But they're trying to pass a law that says you can buy an extra license for yourself, and that would give you 3 more rods. So if you fish by yourself, you could run 6. If you only have 2 guys in the boat, you could get up to 12 in the water. If both anglers have that extra license. It's one of those laws that some guys are saying, well, how many rods do you really need? Some guys are saying, man, I fish by myself. It'd be cool to, being able to even get 4 out would be awesome. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that? And number 2, what are your thoughts on some fishing rules you would like to see changed? What are some rules that you would like to see changed? That's kind of the open discussion I want to have today. I have pushed really hard a couple times and will continue to push. This may ruffle some feathers, but I would like to see a party fishing rule for legal charter captains. So if you're running a charter and you can prove you're running a charter, which means if someone comes up and says, are you running a charter? You say yes, which means all the obligations that go with that, all the right safety equipment, all the inspection stuff, all the other deal, you have to say yes if you get stopped. But if you do say yes and you're a charter boat, you would have the ability to party fish. Meaning, if I'm on the Detroit River and I have 4 anglers in my boat, and the limit on the Detroit River is 6 fish, I have 4 customers and myself fishing, so 5 people fishing, but 4 customers times 6 fish is 24. Doesn't matter who puts those 24 fish in the box, we're allowed 24 fish. If you've ever been on a jigging charter, sometimes you get a guy who's got a hot stick, and when he gets his 6, he starts throwing fish back. So you get a situation where you have 4 people on a charter, and they only take home 9 fish because we catch 30, but they only take home 9 because one guy got his 6 and the other guys just couldn't get the hang of jig fishing. So you wouldn't be able to keep any extra fish for the captain or the crew. It would be whatever the state limit or the limit is where you were fishing for your charter party. And then however those 24 fish got in the box, it doesn't matter. Captain caught them. One customer caught 10. The other customers caught 14 between them. One guy catches 20. The other guy catches 4. The other 2 guys catch nothing. Doesn't matter. 24 is the number. Boom, you're done. Over. That's your fish. No matter who catches them, you can keep them. So that's what I would like to see. Charters only. If you want to talk about expanding it to regular fishermen, I would support that, I think, in a boat. But there you go. That's something that I would like to do. Roy says the limit stays the same. Yes, limit would stay the same. Limit would not go up. It would just be a number of rods you could run. So there you go. Matt says 6 is a lot. Seems hard to manage. 6 is really not a lot because I'm going to tell you on most boats, most traditional fishing boats, right? Starcrafts, Rangers, Polar Crafts. I know on my Polar Craft, I start getting 12 rods in the water. It starts to get a little hairy because it's just not the room to really move. On the pontoon, it's easy, right? Most days on the pontoon, we run 16. We have ran 18. That's just adding an extra offshore board to the side. That's pretty easy to do. 16 is pretty normal for us. But I have that extra room. I have that extra room in the back. I have all that room. I have all that space to run rod holders. I know on my polar craft, I get 4 on my tree on each side and a down rod. That's 5, and 5 is 10. That starts to get a little hairy because there just isn't the room to move stuff that there is in the pontoon. So even if it was 6 rods, I have a feeling that most guys on a regular fishing boat, 17, 18, 19, 20-foot boats, are going to have a hard time handling 12. So 2 guys in the boat, 6 rods apiece. I don't know that they even would get their 12 out. So I don't know that that's a big deal. John says, why the heck do we need extra rods? We get limits in minutes now. Now, unfortunately, that's not the case for everybody. There are guys who struggle. So, I don't know, it was just something somebody brought up. So, Lauren says, now, Lauren brings up a good point, but we're going to have Travis Hartman on. I did a Zoom call with Travis from the Ohio DNR the other day for some personal stuff. We're going to try to do that again, record it, and play it. Lauren says, I'd like to see one body of water. He says, Lake Erie, all states are saying that'll never happen because of the way the total allowable catch works and the way the states are given a quota to set their limit. You'll never see that be the same ever. Ever, ever, ever. And there's a lot of science behind that. So I'm going to let Travis explain what they do. I'm going to get Travis on here in a week or two. I'm going to let Travis explain how the total allowable catch, or what you call the TAC, is determined for Lake Erie, how that number is then distributed to Ontario, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York, and then how each of those states have to build their quota or their limits inside that part of the quota. So there's a lot of science that goes into that. You'll never ever see that happen. You probably will never see the same regulations. I know it sounds so simple to have the Detroit River be the same, but you probably never see Detroit River be the same on our side and the Canadian side because of the way that total allowable catch works. And there's a lot to that, so I'm going to let the scientists explain that. Corey says you only manage so many rods. I think that's true. So I don't think 6. Can go with it. Chris says, I'm with you on this one, but I think it should be for everyone, a boat limit. Yeah, I feel a little different about it being a boat limit than I do it being a chartered thing. That may be a little biased. No, I'll be honest with you, Chris. It is biased. Not against the guys that are just fishing a boat. That's not the case. But I know how hard it is on a charter to watch one guy catch all the fish and somebody else not. And I would also be for, if that was going to be the case, if there was going to be a boat limit for everybody, a party limit, right? A boat of 3 guys gets a 3-man limit. If I was going to support that, I would also be in support of a no-call rule. That once you put a fish in your live well, you were done. Once you got your 20, if you had 3 guys in the boat, limits 6. Once you got your 18, you're done. No more fishing. If you want to keep fishing, you get to 15. That leaves an open slot for each guy. You catch a fish, you want to keep fishing, that fish goes back. Once you get to your boat limit, you're done. No more fishing. No more catch and release. No more going through 100 fish. That no matter how hard we try, you catch 50, 60 fish a day on Detroit River, Lake Erie, Saginaw Bay, pick one, I don't care. Some of those fish are going to die of delayed mortality. Some of those fish are going to be hooked wrong. May not look like it to you, but some are going to be hooked wrong. Some are going to stress out on the way in. They're going to not be able to recover. There is a lot of delayed mortality. So I would take the ability to keep a boat limit or party fishing, and with that, I would take the responsibility that once I get to that limit, I no longer can fish. I'm back to the ramp and I'm done. So I would give a little bit to get a little bit. So that's me. Mike says 6 rods by himself. I somehow managed to tangle 3. Yeah. It's actually in Michigan right now, John. It's just conversation. I know at one point MUCC had kind of taken it up and was it passed their regional board. It didn't pass the state board to go. MUCC picks 1 or 2 topics every year from their member clubs, and they kind of put their support behind it, and they take it to the legislature. Those are regional meetings first, and then they usually pick one idea from each region. I think there's, I want to say, 9 MUCC regions in the state of Michigan. They pick one idea from each region, and those all go to the state, and each region has a chance to kind of lobby for their idea, and then the state group, MUCC as a whole, picks one, and they kind of put their backing behind that and some of their legal and some of their money behind that to get it to the legislature. So right now, Johnny, it's just in Michigan. So that's how I know. Mike White says 6 rods. Yeah, but it would be nice if you fish by yourself to run 2, because it's a lot easier to see what's happening with 2 boards on a side than it is 2 boards on one and one on the other, or 3 boards on one side. So I think, even if you had the ability to run 3 and 3, which is 6, just the ability to run 4 would be awesome. So there you go. Roy says 6 rods for the solo anglers might save some marriages. Oh, that's funny. So Craig brings up the issue: if you're jigging and hook a fish and hand the rod to a buddy to reel in who really caught it, it's just a pain, right? It's just a pain in the rear end. And you get a guy with a hot bite and he catches 40 and the boat goes home with 6 because the limit's 6 now on Detroit River. So you get a guy that catches 20, the other guy's having a hard time jigging, you go home with 6 fish. I don't know if that's really fair or not. I get it, whatever. Doug says bank fishing could get pretty ugly. I know for a fact that the person that's kind of passing this or kind of spearheading this legislation definitely only wants it for boats. It won't be bank fishing. So there you go. Chris says remove rod limitations for the Great Lakes. Who cares how many rods? As long as you don't keep more than your allowed limit. And he agrees on changing the party fishing rule. I like all those, right? I like anything that gets more people excited about going fishing. So if you have a neighbor who maybe doesn't fish and he likes to eat fish, and you give him fish, wouldn't it be cool to take him to Detroit River and let him see for 5 hours what really goes on? Maybe he'd get excited. Maybe the first time down there he really struggles, only catches 1, loses 20 jigs, only catches 1 fish, but you catch 11 and you each go home with 6 fish, right? I think that's a deal. Now, saying that, I would like to see, and I may ruffle a few feathers here, I would like to see, and I don't know how you would do it, but I would like to see better enforcement of the possession limit. I think that does not get enforced enough, right? Here in Michigan, the possession limit is 3 days limit. So if you go to Detroit River for 3 days, you have 18 fish, right? Because you can keep 6 in Detroit River. So once you put 18 fish in your freezer and you go to Detroit River the next day and you hook a fish and put it in the live well, you've broken the law. The possession limit is 3 days, and that's on your person, processed, frozen, salted, canned, whatever the case may be. That's in your freezer, that's in your person, that's in your truck, that's in your cooler, that's in your boat. The limit is only 3 days possession. So once you have 18 walleyes, if you can prove you've been to the Detroit River or the Canadian side or to Ohio where you can keep 6 fish, you can prove that those fish came from there. But if you have 18 in your freezer and you catch number 19 put in the live well, you've broken the law. So I would like to see, again, if you're going to give me party fishing, I would give you the ability to enforce that much more vehemently, because I think that gets abused more than any fishing law we have. You catch 25 gills 3 days in a row, you got 75 gills in your freezer. You go to the lake, you catch number 76, you put it on the ice, you put it in the live well, you've broken the law. And I think that law needs to be enforced more. Again, I may ruffle some feathers and some of you may disagree. That's okay. I don't see a single reason why a household of 2, husband and wife, needs more than 150 bluegills in their freezer. No need for it. Zero need at all. And you can argue with me all you want. I don't care. You're never going to win that argument with me, So, anyway. Jess Miles got to go teach the kids. Go teach them, buddy. Good to see everybody. So anyway, that was just kind of something else. Jeff says, how about a state shared license? Would be nice to buy. Um, Again, you'll probably never ever see the ability to buy a multiple state license. I would like to see, again, let me back up. I have fished all over the country, and I don't think you guys really understand. I don't think a lot of people in Michigan and Ohio understand the quality, number one, of water and fishing we have, the quality and quantity of access sites we have. I'm going to tell you that Michigan and Ohio are two of the best states around for access, for ability to reach lakes, public access on small bodies of water, obviously great fisheries, great water quality, that whole deal. I think $26 is honestly is a slap in the face for fishing. I think that fishing license should be $50. I 100% agree with that. You would never ever see me arguing about a fishing license increase in the state of Michigan ever. Saying that, and again, living in a perfect world, if every dollar I spent on a fishing license went back to the fisheries, I would spend $100 a year. It's $2 a week. I would have no problem doing that. So I'm going to take out the issue that the money is going to get used for something else because politicians are all crooks. Let's just assume in a perfect world, all of our fishery money goes to fisheries. And a lot of it does, right? What I would like to see is you have to buy a license in each state you're going to fish, but there's also a Great Lakes stamp, which allows you to fish in the Great Lakes of any state that. So if you wanted to fish Ohio, maybe your non-resident license is $25 instead of $40, but you have to buy a $100 Great Lakes stamp that allows you to fish any of the Great Lakes, and that money goes directly into the groups that manage the Great Lakes. I'm not against paying a little bit more to go fishing. I'm definitely not against that. I think we have some of the best fishing. We have some of the best access sites. We have a lot of cool things here that $26, 50 cents a week is really not, it really doesn't, it's one of those things. So when you complain about something else being, not getting done or something else being too, just remember the value you're getting your fishing license. I mean, that's an amazing, amazing value for what we get. Lee says he runs 6 with his 8-year-old just fine, but he started making some solo trips. Some days having more than 3 would be handy. I believe that. And again, just because you can run 6 doesn't mean you have to. You can run 4, 2 on a side. That's easy to do. So there you do. Chris makes a great point. He's 100% in favor of party fishing. It's also easy on the DNR. Amount of licenses times allowed fish, there's your limit. Right? Don't care who caught them. Don't care. You got 4 guys in the boat, 6 fish apiece. How many you got? 24? Good. Have a good day. See you later. Show me all your licenses. Good. See ya. All right? Pretty simple. Yeah, Matt, rotating anglers, but again, so let's back up, okay? So let's look at this from let's look at this from the DNR standpoint. If you have somebody who wants to go by the letter of the law, say I have a charter. I've got grandma and grandpa and a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old grandkid, right? I've got a 10 and a 12-year-old grandkid and grandma and grandpa go on the pontoon. Great day on Saginaw Bay. There's 4 of us in the boat. 8 fish, that's 32 fish. The kids are excited. They hardly ever get to fish. Grandma and grandpa want to introduce them to fishing. Captain Lance gets lucky, or Captain Doug gets lucky. We're on a good bite. We're reeling them in. Boom, kids go to the back. Kids reeling in the fish. They're having a great time. DNR guy comes over and goes, how many you got? Oh, we got 19. I've only seen these 2 kids reeling fish. Yeah, well, each one of them only gets 8. So we're 3 fish over the limit. Who gets the ticket? That's what a non-party option gets you. We had it happen at a PWT tournament back in the, I want to say it was the late 90s on Saginaw Bay. Traditionally, in a pro-am situation, and at that time you didn't know, we got a lot of amateurs that didn't really know a lot about fishing. They were actually in the tournament to learn. Most pros, especially on a big fish trolling bite, would let the anglers reel in the fish and the pro would net. simply because you can do a lot less harm. You do a lot less things wrong on the rod. Just hold the rod in the air and reel. That's all you got to do. Netting takes some skill, right? The limit was 6. You could weigh 6 fish. Well, the daily limit per person was 5. So there were a bunch of tickets written the first day of the tournament because a lot of anglers were coming in with 6 fish in their boat, and the amateur reeled all 6 in. Even though we were 4 short of what our boat limit would have been, which was 10, 5 and 5, the way the tournament was working, most guys were letting the amateurs reel the fish in, and the pros were netting 6 fish to the scale. You broke the law. That's where I think people don't understand how important party fishing really can be, right? Now, again, is that an extra $10? Is that an extra $5? I don't know, whatever. Is that an extra fee if you're a charter guy? Pay an extra $200 a year and you get a party fishing license? I don't know, whatever. We can work out that, but I think that's something that needs to be addressed. It would make it a lot easier for everybody. Now, you can't be on the bank and you sit next to somebody you don't know and go, well, yeah, we got 12, him and I. No, you're not. You're in a boat. You're in a boat. How many people are in a boat? 4. What's the limit? 5. Boom, 20 fish. Good. Leave me alone. So there would be some caveats to that. So there you go. If you did a party rule, I'd like to see it be geared towards youth, elderly, disabled who don't get out much. And again, if you do a party fishing rule, well, like I just talked about, where it doesn't matter who catches the fish, it's just the boat limit, then the kid can reel in every fish. The guy in the wheelchair can reel in every fish. The old veteran can reel in every fish. And then you all go to the live home, we can all take fish home. Right now, we can't do that. Right now, we can't do that. If kid number 1 and kid number 2 each get their 8 on Saginaw Bay, Grandma and Grandpa got to come back and reel the rest of the fish, and the kids are done. Yeah. How disappointing is that? How disappointing is that when you bring your grandkids, you're on a hot bite, and you go, well, no, you got to sit down. Legally, as a charter cat, we got to say, no, you got to sit down, you're done. And the kid sits there for 3 more hours, while everybody's reeling fishing because he got his 8 early. I don't do that. I know Captain Doug doesn't do that. I let the kids fish. But by law, I'm breaking the law. Why is that really a law? Jim says there's more to catching a fish than turning a crank. Yes, there is, but when you're in a tournament situation, it's a lot easier to give the guy a rod, set the drag right, and just say turn the handle than it is to worry about a guy who hasn't netted a 10-pounder before, try to get to the back of the boat, get on top of the back deck, lean against the motor, and net that 10-pound fish. I would take my chances with that kid, that guy turning the handle, than I would him handling the net. So yes, there is a lot more to it, but in a tournament, especially when you have somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, we simplified. Jeff says, honestly, when he's trolling with his wife and kids, I want them to catch a fish. Absolutely. But with the current rules, right? It sucks. Chris McCauley goes out with Leah. They got in a hot bite on Lake Erie. Leah catches her 6. It happens quick. First 40 minutes, they got 6 fish. Sit down, Leah. What do you mean sit down? You can't reel another fish the rest of the day. Well, how often is a 9, 10, 11-year-old kid going to want to go if once they reel in their 6 fish, they're done? They're not going to. They're going to go in. I think, laws are laws. I get it, but there has to be some wiggle room with it. So, I don't know. Lauren says, fall brawl rule, whoever is rod holder caught the fish. Yeah, I could say a lot about the fall brawl, and I'm kind of holding my tongue. I will say this. I think what Craig and the guys at Erie Outfitters do, the money they raise for charity, the things they do are awesome. 100% think it's great. I get in every year, even if I'm not going to fish. I get in because I think they do great things. This is another situation of the party fishing, right? You can determine who caught the fish. It's going to be one guy, right? The person that reeled it in, even though, again, you did all the work and all that stuff. And I would like to talk to Mitch about how, I don't know how many guys are on his boat, but I would like to talk to guys who've won a boat, who had, 3 guys on their boat with them. What's the split, right? You got a $100,000 boat. You're going to pay taxes on that $100,000. That's usually from experience, from having a really close friend who won a boat in a tournament. You're going to pay taxes about 30% on that total. So you got a $100,000 boat. You're going to come up with 30 grand up front to pay the federal taxes on that boat, because it is a prize, right? It is one income. Who pays that? Now you're left with a boat that someone had to pay $30,000 to register, or had to pay the taxes on that. So let's say you got 3 guys in the boat. Whose responsibility is that? Now we've got a boat left. What do we do with the boat? So let's say I take that boat. That's $100,000 MSRP. Let's say I can sell it for 80. So I got 80 in my pocket. I got to pay 30 in tax. I got 50 grand. How do you do? I would just really, really, really like to know how that works, right? Because one guy caught the fish. You can't take a boat and cut it in 4 pieces. You could take the cash prize. Let's say you won the 50 grand. You could take the cash prize and say, hey, I had 3 guys on the boat, split it up 3 ways, and everybody gets a 1099 for a third of that amount, right? And then they take care of their own taxes. You're good. But when you add something like a boat, it just creates all kinds of headaches. We were joking when we had Dean and Larry out one day. Like, man, I want to catch the 3rd, 4th, or 5th place fish. I just want the cash. Cash is a lot easier to figure out than having a boat. So I'd just be curious. But again, you have to say one person caught the fish. So yes, you're right, Lauren. It does become kind of a mix-up. It just becomes a mix-up. My issue with the fall brawl, I'm going to air it here, is I don't like any event. And I have a solution. I don't like any event that makes somebody tell somebody, no, you can't go fishing. And I know for a fact there's charter captains. I know for a fact there are people on here watching today who wouldn't take somebody fishing that wanted to go fishing during the brawl. Maybe a friend came up from out of town. Maybe somebody said, man, I'd really like to go. Maybe said, hey, my weekend freed up. I really want to go down fishing with you. And they said, no, you can't because you're not in the brawl. Any fishing event that says someone can't fish because of X, I don't like. Let me back up. I don't like the rules of. I have suggested, and I sent an email to Craig last year and said, let charter captains, because this is what happens. A lot of charter guys go, hey, if you're not in the brawl, you can't get on the boat on a charter. Well, what if a guy says, man, the weather's really nice, fishing's good. I want to take my family and get some of these big fish. Charter captain says, nope, not in the brawl. Can't take you. That's number one, a crock of hooey. I would never do that. But my suggestion was let charter captains or regular boat owners, I don't care, let us buy up front a book of 6 brawl entries. So let's say I'm going to do a half dozen charters on Lake Erie. I'm going to have 4 guys apiece. So I may buy, let's say I buy 20 brawl entries at $35 a piece. So I pay $700. I get 20 tickets that are brawl licenses. They all have a number. They're assigned. That number is assigned to me. What that person has to do, I've already paid my $35, so these are already registered entries. So now Joe Blow gets on my boat, says, hey, I want to take the kids fishing. I see what's going on. It's going to be 50 degrees on Saturday. I'd like to go. I go, okay, fall brawl's going on. Here's what you can win. Here's what we would win as a group. Do you want to be in? Yeah, I'll be in. So I can either sell that guy that $35 and recoup my money, or I've got the ticket. He has to sign that ticket and date it, and then I sign and date it before the boat leaves the dock. Because they give you a polygraph if you win. So all the question has to be is, were you legally entered in the brawl before you left the dock? Yes. Did you sign your affidavit, your ticket before you left the dock? Yes. Captain Lance, did you sign? Yes. It's on a polygraph. It's on a polygraph. So if you win, you're gonna get grilled, which I think is right anyway. So I could have this ticket of 20, or this book of 20 entries that I paid for. It's already in the pot. It's already done. I don't pay for them as I sell them. I've already paid my $35 per each one. I already got 20 entries. I just get to assign who that goes to. Has to be signed that morning of the trip. It has to be signed before we leave the dock or before we put rods in the water. You can't put a rod in the water before that's signed or it's illegal. Again, polygraph would tell you that. And now I can go, yes, I can take that group of 4 or 5 guys fishing. Or yes, you know what, Dad, come on down this weekend. You got a free weekend. Come on down and fish with me and Larry and Dean. I know you're not in the brawl, but you're going to be. Bring $35 extra. I've got an entry for you. I think there's a way to allow people to enter after the brawl entry has stopped, but before they go fishing, and do it legally. That's just me. Roy says, okay, here's my thoughts. Right now I take my 9-year-old out trolling. She can only reel in her limit. Now I have to try, exactly. You're hitting it right in the head, Roy. Now I have to try to have her net a fish by herself or do it solo. What does it matter if she pulled in all the time fish and I netted them? I know it's the law, but if we can't make, I agree. I'm on your side, and I'm glad people are saying that. So I think a lot of you are understanding kind of why the party fishing thing would be a good thing. I truly believe it would be a good thing. That's just me. That's just me. John Gall says thank you. Okay. Ohio does not have a possession limit, and the fishery is just fine. Michigan should follow. Ohio does not have a possession limit because of Lake Erie. If you did what happens on Lake Erie to the inland lakes in Michigan, I'm telling you, you'd have no walleye, you'd have no bluegills, you'd have no crappies. That possession limit has to be enforced. That's my personal opinion, Chris. That's my personal opinion. You know my saying. If you've been around me long enough, you know my saying. Don't take your friends' fish, take your friends fishing. If you want to have a neighborhood fish fry, then you gather up all the neighbors and you get 3 or 4 in your boat and you go fishing. And next weekend you go fishing with 3 other neighbors and there's enough fish for the neighborhood, you have your fish fry. Somebody hoarding fish and having 3 freezers full of fish, there's no reason for that. Not in Michigan, where you can literally most days go, man, I'd like to have some fish on Saturday. You can go fishing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and get enough fish 99% of the time to have fish on Saturday. I don't think you need a freezer full of fish. That's just me, and we can disagree. I'm okay with that. But I just don't like that. John Gall is all for the party fish. I don't think there's too many people who I don't think there's too many people that would disagree with the party fishing. That's just me. Doug says, should they pass the ability to purchase an additional license to allow an... he's talking to Captain Todd. Yeah. New York is 50 Fridays. So, yeah, and I don't mind paying... I don't mind paying $50 for out of state. Dude, I'll tell you, Jim says that sounds like you're okay with them coming into your house or checking your freezer. They can do it with game. I don't know why they can't do it with fish. It is what it is. Chris, no, I'm not assuming. No, I'm not assuming anything. I'm not assuming you're not eating fish. I'm not assuming any of that. It's just that the possession is the possession, and when you have 75 gills, you can't catch another gill. When you have 18 walleye, if you fish Detroit River, you can't catch 19. That's just all I'm saying. I'm not saying you're not going to eat them. I'm not saying the neighbors. I'm not saying any of that. I know a lot of people that catch their fish, keep their limit, eat them, and go. I'm okay with that. That's a beautiful part of our resource. Is mostly the way it's been managed the last couple of years. It is a renewable resource. We have proven that with the right laws and the right rules, anglers can be responsible and they can create a sustainable fishery. That's okay. I'm not saying anybody isn't eating them or they're going to waste. I'm not saying that at all. I just think there's a limit. I'm just saying I'm okay with the possession limit. That's just me. I'm okay. There's a possession limit. I would like to see it enforced a little bit more. So that's just me. If they change it to no possession, I wouldn't complain a single bit. But there is a law right now, and I don't think that gets I think it's a law that anglers routinely and knowingly break. Let's just put it that way. Ohio non-resident, I think it was $48 this year, something like that. I don't know what it is. Um, you know, Matt says you'd like to see the Dingle-Johnson tax. Yes, I agree with that too. The Dingle-Johnson tax is kind of something you pay. It's built into fishing equipment, fishing tackle, fishing gear. That goes to the Dingle Act. That is a conservation act. It's actually been if you go back and look at the history of it, it's actually been pretty good. John Dingle, actually from Michigan. It's actually a pretty good. It's actually a pretty good deal. But you're right, and I'll tell you, I saw something we're going to have to address. And again, don't make anybody mad, but we're going to have to address this kayak issue because it's a non-motorized deal. Their ability to use ramps, their ability to do some other things. I think any watercraft that uses public access, regardless if it's motorized or not, should have to pay the same fees. I don't think if I have to pay X amount of dollars a year to have my boat registered and it's on the water, canoe should have to be registered the same amount. Kayaks should have to be registered. Kayaks should have to have MC numbers on them. They should have to pay a registration. If you're using state-funded bodies of water, public-funded bodies of water, if you're using public-funded ramps, your equipment should have to be registered. That's just me. That's just me. Because we're getting to the point where sometimes you can't use the boat ramp because there's 75 kayaks lined up. Okay? Kayakers have every right to be on the water, and I'm much more cognizant of them than I used to be because I know some kayak guys very well now, and they're good guys, and they're just trying to get out and fish. Okay, I got it. But you don't pay the same as I do to use the same resources I do. That's where I get frustrated. I would never expect a regular boater to pay the same fees I have to be a charter captain because I do use a resource differently. I use it more often. I use it differently than you do. I'm okay with having to pay extra fees for that. But to do the same thing just because your boat doesn't have a motor on it, I think that's wrong. You're still taking up space. You're still in the water. You're still taking a parking spot at the boat ramp. Those vessels need to be registered. That's, again, my opinion. I like Jeff's ideas, and this was kind of where I think I'd like to go. Is every state you have to buy a license, and if you have a state from any of the Great Lakes states, you can buy a Great Lakes stamp, and that money goes to the other states. I'm okay with that. Yeah, Roy, yeah. We spend thousands of dollars on fishing gear, but $30 license is breaking the bank. I'd pay whatever to do what I love. I agree with that. I get on the water every day and go, man, this is the best deal of my life. $26.50, 5 pop cans a week to go fishing. That's ridiculous. That's the best deal of the state. Chris says, I see the brawl mentioned. Real quick, the person who signs for the fish is the person who caught it. Right. Regardless of any signed document or agreement you have in the boat. As a captain, weigh the fish in your boat or be willing to accept the possible outcome that only greed can bring. I agree with Chris 100%. If a fish is caught on your boat, regardless of who reels it in, you weigh it. Especially if you're a charter captain. If it's caught on a charter, you weigh it. You're the guy who caught it. And then you figure out the distribution from there. I can't imagine there haven't been friendships ruined over the fall brawl. I just can't imagine there hasn't been. And that makes me sad because it's a great event that just needs a little bit of tweaking. Chris says, I'm surprised Michigan hasn't introduced the extra spring license fee. And again, that would be a Great Lakes stamp would stop that. If you want to fish the Great Lakes and connecting waters, you pay an extra $20. So now you've got that extra fee to fish the Great Lakes, and that money all goes towards Great Lakes funding. Again, I'm not for the government collecting more money because here's the problem. They're not going to use it the way it should be used. You know that. I know that. Every politician's a crook. I don't care if they're your local school board all the way up to the President of the United States for the last, say we've been elected our first president in, what, 1779? So for the last 240 years, there hasn't been a president who hasn't been a crook. There hasn't been a school board person who hasn't been a crook in some way. I get it. So that's why I don't like it, right? If you're going to charge me an extra $20 to use the Great Lakes, to buy a Great Lakes stamp, then all $20 of that should go into Great Lakes research, Great Lakes fisheries management, boat ramps, whatever. We know that's not going to happen. That's my problem. So Craig says the law should be written to maximize the enjoyment of angler. I agree. I think there are some things we can make easy. Lawrence is not true. Disqualified a catch last year because it was signed by the boat owner. His dad caught it. Took the rod out of the rod holder. Stupid rule. Fish the size of a winner. Take the second person net. Most of the time, it's a team thing. Yeah, if that's true, Lauren, I don't know if that's true or not. If you're telling me it is, I would assume you've done your research. That would piss me off. That it has to be the person that grabbed the rod. I don't like that. I could tell you a story about that too, but yeah, that's dumb. Not a good idea. John says all you have to do is to legally have kids reel all the fish in is take the rod out of the holder and hand it to the kid. In a court of law. Yeah, I don't know that it would stick, but Scott says, how about a reduced fee amateur fishing license? That's funny, Scott. Oh, that's funny. Didn't ever think about the limit thing. We set the rod, took the fish, I handed the rod to my grandson. Right. So legally, again, by law, you are breaking the law. So, Matt says on my trips for the brawl, everyone agrees to split equally. That's a conversation we could have for hours, because what is equally? If I'm on the water for 9 days and I'm paying hotels and food and gas to go fishing for 9 days, and you show up on Saturday because it's your day to fish, and I've done all this work and all this pre-fishing, all this time and effort ahead of time, and we just happen to catch the fish on Saturday when you're with me, do you really deserve a share of that money? Because that fish was caught because of all the work I did the 8 or 9 days previous. I've gained knowledge. I've worked on a pattern. We're finally on the right fish. You reel that fish in on Saturday. Do you really deserve a full split after I put all that work in? There you go. The only way I would feel comfortable with the brawl, and I've talked to a few guys about this, the only way I would feel comfortable in the brawl is get a group of, pick a number, 4, 6, 8 guys, whatever that number is. So let's say you get 8 guys, you got 2 boats. Everybody puts the same amount of dollars in the pot. Boom. Everybody puts $1,500 in the pot. Boom. Anytime anybody from that group of 8 goes fishing, if it's 2 guys, 4 guys, 3 guys, doesn't matter. Anytime anybody from that group goes fishing, the money for that trip, food, lodging, hotels, gas, whatever the case may be, comes out of that pot. And then when the winning is done, the money goes into that pot and then it all comes out equally. That's the only way I would do it. So if I get a chance to fish 7 days and I don't catch a brawl fish, and 2 of my buddies that are in my group get a chance to go down the next day with the information I've helped provide them, and they catch a brawl fish, even though I'm sitting at home, I still get my 1/8 share of it. That's the only way I would do it. Only way I would do the brawl and be comfortable. With a signed agreement, probably even an LLC started. Joe Blow Fishing Company LLC. All the money goes into one account. The money comes out for every time any of those guys. You can only fish with that group, and anytime people in that group go fishing, the money comes out of that pot. The money runs out because somebody's been down there all day for 20 days. Go, hey, we're out of cash. Everybody puts the same amount of cash back in. We all pull. So even if you don't go fishing, you're paying for the experience and the chance of the group to catch a fish. But even if you don't fish on the day the fish is caught, you still get your share. That's the only way I would do it. Only way I would do it. John says if you don't title the boat and they sell it for you, you don't have to pay tax on it. Just sales tax. That'd be good. But what if you do keep the boat? What if there's 3 guys in the boat and you caught the fish and you want to keep the boat? I just see all kinds of troubles coming from this. Ryan says the Ministry of Natural Resources here in Ontario has never once asked us with our full limits who caught the fish. Boy, I'll tell you what, I've seen on Detroit, there's actually YouTube videos. CEO walked up to a boat. It happens all the time. You hear it all the time in Detroit River. How many of you guys got? Oh, we got our 12. Okay, good. Yeah, God, I had it. Today was my first day on the river. Really had a tough time. He caught 10. I only caught 2. Oh, thanks. The other guy's getting a ticket. Happens all the time. Matt says, I wonder as a charter, could you claim the prize under the business in 1099? I don't know that. I don't know that. Lauren's got a good idea. Register the boat for the brawl. And maybe that is a $500 registration. And anybody that's on that boat, as long as they have a legal fishing license, is entered in the brawl. That's an option too. So, I don't know. And I think there's a lot of things that people aren't thinking about with this brawl deal. Someone wins a prize. I think there's a lot of little things that people aren't thinking about. Because the guy goes, oh man, we won 60 grand. There's 3 of us in the boat. That's 20 grand a piece. Not even close. Then the guy's pissed because the guy who caught the fish wins the prize. He gets a check for 60. Now he's going to have to pay taxes on that, right? It's going to go on his income tax, not anybody else's income tax. How do you figure all that out? And the guy goes, well, where's my 20 grand? Well, you don't get 20 grand because I'm not going to get 20 grand. Well, you got 60. It just bugs me. Well, Chris says simple solution if you think you might. Okay, easy if you think you're going to fish. I got guys that come in from out of town. Hey, just found out we're going to be in town over Thanksgiving. Didn't know we were coming. We're going to go up and see Grandma Jones. We're going to be in town. Would love to go fishing. Do I tell those guys no, they can't go fishing? They don't know anything about the brawl. Let's say they're cousins from Keokuk, Iowa, or Florida. Hey, we're going to come up and we're going to visit Grandma over Thanksgiving. We're going to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'd love to go on Lake Erie with you on Saturday. Do I tell them no? They don't know anything about the brawl. I'm not going to call everybody I know and go, hey, if you think you might want to go fishing or book a charter, get in the brawl. Right? So, again, that's why I don't mind as a charter captain, Chris. I don't mind buying a book of 20 entries at $30 a piece. I don't mind paying $600. There's 20 extra entries, but then I can assign who each of those entries is before they get on the boat and go fishing. So I've already bought my entries. My money's already in the pot. I just haven't put names on those numbered entries yet until we get to the dock and leave before we get fishing. So, that's just the way it is. Bob Thompson says he feels we're overregulated. Why does it matter? I agree with you, Bobby. Paul says that'd be odd. Yeah, I mean, how many guys, right? But again, now Jeff, you run into an issue. So let's say I'm in a situation where, so let's say it's $30 a person to fish, right? So let's say I'm in a situation, which I am, where I could go to Lake Erie from day one of the brawl and fish till end of the brawl. Well, I got the pontoon. I'm going to put between 4 and 6 people on that boat. So let's say I average 4 people. Let's say that's a 30-day window. I don't know exactly what it is. Say it's a 30-day window, 4 guys a day, right? That's 120 people on my boat, right? That's $3,600 of entries if everybody has to have their own entry. What do you charge my boat? You're not going to charge me $3,600. So actually, if you just do the boat, you're actually probably losing money. I think it's one-day tickets, and the charter captain has to pay for them up front. When they run out, they're out. Now, you can buy one from another charter captain if you want. If somebody else has extra, but there's one-day tickets floating around that had to be bought in advance, kind of like they used to. Ohio and Indiana used to sell one-day licenses right on the boat. If you were a charter captain, you'd buy a book of 10 licenses. A guy come on your boat, say, do you have a license? Nope. Okay, you need to buy a $1 one-day license. They'd sign it before you left the dock. Here's your slip that says you signed it. I signed it. Give me $15. There's your one-day license. We're done. I paid for the licenses up front. There's got to be a way to do that. There has to be a way to do that. So Ryan says their massive salmon hunt tournament in Ontario works well. You can get in the tournament with a day license purchased prior to midnight the day before. Charter captains can also purchase a boat license for $800 plus for the tournament and during the entire duration of the tournament, anyone that walks on the boat. Again, I don't think $800 is enough because you should be getting $3,600 worth of entry fees. If I put 36 people, or if I put 120 people on my boat for 30 days, that's $3,600. If I only pay $800, then I shouldn't get the full prize amount. So I think selling tickets ahead of time, the captain guys, selling them ahead of time and letting them assign them at the dock. Oh, Chris, hey, look it, I'm good. I don't, discussions like this, I don't take any offense. I don't take anything. Trust me, I am an easy guy to get along. I'm an easy guy to have a discussion with. It's funny, a few people I work with, they've had to learn that I'll get something like this, and I'll just talk. And I may disagree with what I say. I may go, no, don't you think this is true? Just to see, Chris, you're okay with me anytime, buddy. You're okay with me anytime. Discussions like this have nothing other than discussions. This has nothing to do with anything. So your opinion is valued here. It's going to be heard. I'm going to listen to it. It's never going to offend me that you disagree or have thoughts or have rebuttals. We're good. You can disagree with me all you want. This is just a discussion. This is just an open forum, which I think is important. I think too many people nowadays get their nose out of joint to have an open forum like this and share a bunch of ideas without going, that guy's an idiot, or that guy's an asshole, or that guy. That's not what this is about. This is about, let's just get everything out and figure it out. And then somewhere between all of us, there's a consensus. We go, yeah, you know what? That's not a bad idea. So you're good, Chris. Thank you for being part of the conversation. John says, I love giving my neighbors fish. Just look on their face. They have to clean them. Yeah, I'm not a big... I give fish to people who can't fish. My mother-in-law, 86 years old. My dad wants fish. He's going fishing. My brother wants fish, or his kids want fish. They're going fishing. Neighbor next door wants fish. He's going fishing. Buy a license. Buy your $26. I'm not going to charge you for a charter. We'll just go fishing as friends. Hop on the boat. Let's go. I'm not just going to bring you fish. Not the way it works. Get your butt out here and enjoy it. Jeff says something he saw this year is Ohio license, automatic renewal. Interesting concept. In Michigan dad, I would check. Yeah, I did that too. Automatic renewal. I mean, who wouldn't like that? Lauren says, I also like the Ohio license runs 1 full year from date of purchase. I have mixed feelings about that, Lauren. I'm a yes and a no guy. I would like to see all licenses just go from January to December. Just make it the year, right? Because after the first year, it's going to all even out anyway, right? Because if you have a license like Michigan that basically starts April 1st and goes through March, there's a open water season and a ice fishing season, right? If you go January to March, you got ice fishing, and you got open water, and you got maybe a little bit of ice fishing. It's the same thing. I think for the DNR, the problem I have with a date-to-date license is it's too hard for the DNR. The DNR has to check every license because they need to know when Lauren bought his, when Lance bought his. So there's 4 guys in the boat. They got to check all 4. If it's just a year and you hold it up and this year's yellow, you go, there's my yellow license. Okay, you're good. I just think it's a lot easier to have a specific time frame with a different colored license than date to date. That's just me. I think the less time a DNR officer has to spend on the boat, I think it's better for everybody. The more people they get to check, therefore the more people that are breaking the law they're going to catch. The less time they're going to spend on my boat, which is, which is good. Of course, what about people not using the ramps or the people that have a float tube? Big difference in wear and tear. I think if you're on the water and you're taking up space on the water, I think you should be registered. Float tube's a little different because you can get in anywhere, but we're getting too many people on the water that aren't paying the same as the other people. That's where there's going to be a problem, right? That's where there's going to be a problem. So anyway. All right, Jim's going to cardiac rehab. Good luck, my friend. Doug says, other than hook sets, the license is the biggest bargain in fishing. That's good. Mike's out of here. All right, you guys are starting to wind up here. We're a little after 8. I went a little long today. Doug says, hunters and fishermen pay for the great outdoors. Birders, bikers, hikers. I agree with that. There should be a public land use fee. If you want to go and bird, if you want to go and pick morels, if you're going to use public land, there should be a user fee. I don't know, $10. I don't care what it is, something, right? I agree with that. That's a good point, Dougie. I agree with that. All right, Jeff, have a good day. Billy says that's like saying you'll need a license plate for your bike to ride to the park. No, not saying that. But I do think if you're going to use a boat ramp, you should have to pay the same fees to maintain that ramp that the guy with a boat does, even if you have a kayak. Why should a kayaker be able to use the same ramp and not pay anything to maintain that ramp? So there you go. My opinion. So somebody's watching as Teachin Fishing. Chris says, Ryan, there's an MNR in your area, do possession checking in the house. So there you go. Lawrence, the registry in the boat allows boat owner to control the split, and anyone could be. Yeah, you would definitely. I think if I was going to do the brawl, I would definitely want the rules spelled out pretty good. Even on a charter, right? Here's the rules. Here's what's going to happen. Here you go. So, Ryan says they are allowed to enter the house and check freezer at any time. Our daily limit, possession limit are the same. If I fish one day, catch my 4 or 6, I'm legally not allowed to fish again until those fish are consumed. I don't like the 1 day, but I'm okay with the 3 day. Right, so Jeff Lanthier, yeah, good point, Jeff. This happened to him this year. He signed up for the education weekend with his brother. His brother came and was not signed up for the brawl. If they would have caught a fish, wouldn't have counted. So I think there has to be a way. So anyway. Lifetime license used to be available, yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, Bobby, right? If a guy's going to pay for a charter, that's the payment, right? That's what I do. That's what you do. We're charter fishermen. We're charter captains. If a guy pays for a charter, who cares if we catch a brawl fish, right? It would be nice if they're in the brawl. But if they're not, we're still going to go fishing. I just know there's people that just didn't. So there you go. All right, lots of stuff going on. So anyway, all right, good conversation today. Hopefully got a lot of people thinking. Look at laws aren't perfect. People that make laws aren't perfect. They're never going to be perfect. They're never going to be for anyone. But again, there are some ways that we can kind of make them a little bit better. So, all right, real quick wrap up of this week before we get out of here. Today, obviously, was coffee hour. Tuesday, tomorrow, 8 p.m., there's a premier seminar or workshop. So our seminars are over 30 minutes. Our workshops are under 30 minutes. So they're two different things. I think it's about an 18-minute seminar on looking at trolling speed, an advanced look at trolling speed, speed over ground, down speed, how current, subsurface current, wind waves affect how deep your lure runs, how fast it goes, the action it has. Really, actually a really cool seminar, especially with everybody fishing this time of year. Talking about speed they're running. I'm going to bet you that a lot of times you let your speed over ground, that your lure's not going that speed. We're going to talk about that. So 8 p.m. Tuesday night on the Teachin Fishin YouTube channel. That's available. There'll be a live chat for as long as the video runs. Once the video's over, the live chat is done. I'm going to be up in Manistee Tuesday night, so I will participate in the live chat. I'm going steelhead fishing on Wednesday, so you'll probably see some live stuff from the river out of Manistee. On Wednesday, I'm taking my brother-in-law and my nephew up steelhead fishing with Captain Lance Keene. That'll be fun. Mitch brings up a great point that we can discuss later. Great point, Mitch. See, so there's a counterpoint. I'm okay with that. Friday and Saturday, I will be at Frank's Great Outdoors during Shanty Days. I'll be working electronics counter and just kind of hanging out in the store if you want to come by and say hi. Paul will have a link coming up. I'm going to post that link probably early this afternoon to remind guys. We'll definitely put it up on the Metro Detroit Walleye Stalker site. It'll be here on Teachin Fishin. When you guys see that promo for Tuesday, please share it to your personal page, to your fishing page, to any page that you are a fishing page that you're a member of. Please share that stuff, guys. That's huge for us to build a bigger community. That would definitely help us. So that'll be an announcement, video announcement later today about Tuesday. And again, Friday and Saturday, I will be up at Frank's at Shanty Days if you'd love to join us. That's it. Let's kind of wrap this up again with the three things we always talk about. Number one, find something you can do today to make your life better. If you're struggling with business, finance, whatever the other situation is, whatever's getting you down today, find one thing you can do to make that better and get that done. Make that your priority today. Get that one thing done and get one step closer to taking care of that issue, whatever that issue is. Second thing, reach out. Again, reach out. I know a few people. I'm friends with people who own restaurants. I've got a couple friends that I've known since they were 6 years old that are restaurant owners, and they are hurting. And it's not just the restaurants. It's the restaurant owners. It's the people that work at the restaurant. Now you're starting to see trickle-down effect into hotels, motels. We were up at Birch Run last night. We just took the dogs for a ride, and nothing open. Hotels are empty. There's a lot of people in trouble, and most people aren't going to tell you they're in trouble. So if you know somebody who could be struggling, reach out. You could be the person that changes their day, and honestly, I'm going to tell you from experience, you reaching out, you could be the person that changes their life. Reach out. Have some compassion and empathy. People are really having a hard time right now. Reach out to somebody who might be struggling. Just say, hi, I'm thinking about you. What can I do to help? And then number three, we always leave you with this last, be kind. Just everything you do, everything you say, everything you post, every comment you make, just be kind. Is it kind? That's the only question you have to ask before you do it. Is it kind? Is it going to make a positive difference? If the answer is yes, do it. If it's no, or even if the answer is maybe, I don't know, don't do it. Just be kind. We need more kindness right now in the world. All right? Okay. Thanks for joining us today. To tomorrow, Tuesday, on December 8th, 8 p.m. on the Teachin Fishin YouTube channel. Please go and subscribe. You can see the premiere video with a live chat at 8 p.m. And then Friday and Saturday, I will be up at Shanty Days at Frank's Great Outdoors. Have a great week, guys. Thanks for joining us here at Teachin Fishin. We appreciate everything you do. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you tell your friends. Please, tell your friends how much fun this is. Guys, have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.